Hi, my name is Terry O'Neill. I'm on the board of directors of the Coquitlam Foundation. I'll be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. Welcome to all of our guests and our recipients tonight to our celebration of our 23rd year in existence here at the Coquitlam Foundation. 23 years of supporting the community. Yeah, why not? And 23 years of serving as the charitable heart of Coquitlam. Now, before we get going in the program, there's something really important I have to do. I've got to take a selfie with all you guys in the back. There we go. Okay, everybody wave. There we go. That'll be on the Foundation's Facebook page.
In a few minutes.
We're very pleased tonight to announce that we're now managing almost $3 million in Foundation-directed and donor-advised funds. And the direct and positive impact of our continued growth is that this year we are setting a new record in the amount of awards we're distributing. For fiscal year 2014-2015, the total amount of community grants, scholarships, and bursaries is $141,773. That's almost enough to buy a garage in Shaughnessy. Or maybe Coquitlam, the way it's going. And it's now my great pleasure to introduce the chair of the board of the Coquitlam Foundation, Janet Toddington.
Thank you, Terry. Terry's our social media guru extraordinaire. He's going to be doing that while I'm talking. Are you going to do that while I'm talking? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Foundation's awards ceremony. I'd like to first acknowledge our special guests here with us tonight. We have Linda Reamer. If you give a little wave there. Linda. Linda's the MLA for Port Moody, Coquitlam. We also have, I believe, in the audience, His Worship Greg Moore, Mayor of Port Coquitlam. Is he with us yet? Okay. And, of course, we have His Worship Richard Stewart, Mayor of Coquitlam. And City Councillors with us tonight, Terry O'Neill, Councillor Terry Towner, and Councillor Chris Wilson. And we have school trustees Chuck Dennison and Barb Hobson. There she is. There. I would like to ask His Worship Mayor Richard Stewart to come up and say a few words of greeting on behalf of the Mayor and Council.
I have almost nothing to say. Whenever we have one of our strong council members, like Councillor Terry O'Neill, emceeing an event, we know that the things that need to be said will be said. And I know very well that I know that both of our Councillor Terrys are here today, but and I asked Council not to tarry, not to be late. But Councillor O'Neill is a really strong supporter of this organization and has been for years. There are many strong supporters of this foundation, many strong supporters of the work that this foundation is able to do in our community, the goals that this organization sets for improving our community and making it as good a community as possible. And so on behalf of all of Council, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to particularly congratulate those who are coming out with a special reason, coming out to receive something tonight. There are some outstanding, amazing individuals in this audience. There are outstanding, amazing individuals throughout our community. And tonight we get to acknowledge some of those. And on behalf of Council, thank you so much for coming out and sharing this evening with us.
Thank you, Mary Stewart. I'd like now to introduce the directors of the foundation, many of whom are here with us this evening. Vice Chair Julie Fisher. Julie, where are you? She might be in the background there. Treasurer Bob Tanaka and Secretary Sam Nakai were unable to be with us this evening. And of course, the Mayor of Coquitlam, Richard Stewart, School District Board Representative Chuck Dennison, and Tri-City Chamber of Commerce Representative Randy Webster. Our members at large are Ken Catton, Ron Grender, Terry O'Neill, Linda Meneghello, and Colleen Talbot. And our Executive Director is Dale Clark, and our Administrative Assistant is Margaret Owens. Please join me in thanking all of our directors and support staff for their hard work and dedication to the foundation and to our community. Thank you. We'd now like to recognize for their board service 3 directors who will be retiring from the foundation board this year. 2 of our directors unfortunately could not be with us tonight, but I wish to highlight their contributions to the foundation. First, Bob Tanaka, who has been on the board for 2 consecutive 4-year terms since 2007, serving as treasurer. Bob has been the able steward of the foundation's financial condition and has helped to ensure the growth of our funds today and for the future. Second, Sam Nakai, who has served on the board since 2009, has done an excellent job as our very hard-working secretary. He's also served for a number of years on our grants committee, assisting with the organization and review of grants application. And last but by no means least, Julie Fisher, who has served as a director for 2 consecutive 4-year terms since 2007 and served as chair from 2011 to 2014. During her tenure on the board, the foundation has flourished, and Julie has been instrumental in the establishment of a number of new funds, ensuring a healthy future for our foundation and its ability to continue to make a difference in our community. Julie, would you please come forward? There she is. Special presentation for you.
Thank you. I love it.
And one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thanks very much. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you.
And and John. And John. Oh, podium.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we have to do this right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. And back to you, Terry.
Thank you, Janet. It's my pleasure to also announce that we have a new executive director at the Coquitlam Foundation to succeed Dale Clark, who is moving on to a new position in the travel and hospitality industry. Our new ED is a woman who is well known and, better yet, well respected in the community for her leadership roles at the Chamber of Commerce, the Heritage Society, and the Crossroads Hospice Society. Tonight, we're proud to announce that the new executive director of the Coquitlam Foundation is Jill Cook. Jill couldn't make it tonight, but we're really looking forward to working with her, and I think under her leadership we're going to be bigger and better yet. So tonight we're going to be presenting several dozen awards, and it takes a big team of well-conditioned men and women, well, men tonight, usually it's a mixture, to hand out those awards. So it's my pleasure to introduce them. Ron Grender, Chair of the Grants Committee. Ken Catton is one of our directors, of course, and Chuck Dennison, the school trustee and the director of the foundation. They'll be handing out the awards tonight, and I will be handing over the microphone right now to Ron.
Thank you, Terry. As Terry mentioned, this year the Coquitlam Foundation has the privilege of distributing over $141,773 in bursaries, scholarships, and grants in our community. It's been my pleasure to chair this year's Grants Committee, and I would like to thank the members of the committee for all their work throughout the grant application, assessment, and selection process. Each member of this volunteer committee received a very large number of applications for grants, bursaries, and scholarships. And before our meetings, they read through all the applications and came prepared to make informed recommendations through the selection process. We appreciate the very valuable contribution of the members of the Grants Committee, many of whom are here tonight. Please stand if you are here to accept our thanks. First of all, the Grants Committee Vice Chair Sam Nakai, as you heard, is not here tonight, unfortunately, and neither is Judy Robb.
But she's here.
Judy had to leave.
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes I know more than Terry, not very often. Judy was not well. She actually came really hoping to see a particular student that she had experience with in the school system who was receiving an award tonight. That student can't be here tonight, studying for exams. More about that later. But at any rate, we do have with us Linda Meneghello, Ken Catton, Ravinder Safaya, Greg McNally, Ron Price, and another member, Doug Tannehill, who I do not think is here tonight. So would you please join me in thanking them for their contribution of all their time. And we have a previous grant recipient that I'm going to ask to come to the stage now, and I'll introduce her as she makes her way down. Sophia Hernandez has been a recipient of a 2014 Westbuild Lift Fund Scholarship. We're pleased that she's here tonight to share with us a little bit about what the Coquitlam Foundation Awards and the Lift Scholarship have meant to her. Please welcome Sophia Hernandez.
Good evening. I would like to start off by sharing how honored I feel and how wonderful it is that I can share a little bit of my story with you. My name is Sophia, and I am 20 years old. I am a full-time mother, student, and employee, so as you can imagine, my life is pretty busy, to say the least. I would like to share some of my background with you. For my graduation year, I attended Cabby Secondary School as a young parent. I was able to finish 17 courses, and in that year, I was able to work with the staff and members at Cabby that were there for me each step of the way. The support given to me was just out of this world. The staff go above and beyond helping and assisting each and every individual, no matter what story they have behind them. And for that, I am so grateful. After finishing my courses, I was able to apply for the Westbuild Lift Foundation Scholarship. And on my graduation day, I was awarded. 2 years later, I am standing here, and I am also 2 years into my post-secondary education, and there is no stopping me here. I plan on finishing with a degree in criminology. I am finishing my last semester at Douglas College, then I will be a full-time student at Simon Fraser University. There are barriers that I face not only as a young mother, but just as a student in general, and I am sure many can relate. No matter what situation you are in, going to school and worrying about the cost of tuition and books can get stressful for anyone. So all I can say is I am very grateful, and I think I can speak on behalf of all of the individuals in this building. There really are no words to describe what the gift of education means and feels like. Once again, I would like to thank Cabby Secondary School for being my foundation, and Westbuild for helping me continue my education and soar in the direction of my dreams. Thank you.
Back to you, Terry.
Thanks, Ron, and thank you, Sophia. I think there's a Douglas College criminology professor in the audience tonight. Maybe he's taught you a few courses. Yes? No? Yeah, well, great, good. Nice connections. So, we're going to move into the presentations for 2015 now. The first group of awards is from the Coquitlam Foundation's donor-advised funds. These funds have been established by private donors who come to the foundation for assistance in making a donation to support a particular charitable work, specific cause, or endeavor. Such funds currently support many health initiatives, such as kidney disease research and Alzheimer's research and support, arthritis prevention, stroke recovery, and support for those struggling with juvenile diabetes. Other donor-advised funds support the arts, education, seniors' activities, and people in need. Donor-advised funds make it possible to create essentially a mini foundation in a cost-effective and easy way. We handle all the paperwork for you. They make it possible for residents, community agencies, and businesses to establish and to grow funds that will contribute to the community in a unique and everlasting way. And so, I'm going to invite Ron back to the podium here to get the awards in the donor-advised funds underway. Thank you.
We're going to begin with awards to students, or at least a student. And before I begin the awards, I want to make sure that all of the students are aware that there's no money in the envelope. The money actually gets directed to the post-secondary institution of your choice after you've registered. And that's a process that there's a form in the envelope. Some of you will have already filled out, and if you have, don't worry about filling it out again. That's what it's all about. We have some other blank envelopes tonight as well, and I'll explain that later. The first award tonight is the Brodie Campbell Memorial Scholarship, and I would like to invite to the stage Colin Campbell and Judith Osborne, Brodie's parents, to say a few words and present the award to this year's recipient. This fund was established by the Coquitlam Minor Lacrosse Association in 2007 to commemorate the memory of Brodie Campbell. The fund provides a scholarship for a second-year midget lacrosse player, male or female, who brings to the game of lacrosse the same qualities as Brodie did: love of the game, team spirit, mentoring, dedication, commitment, and sportsmanship. The scholarship is awarded to help provide post-secondary education or training to a graduating Coquitlam Minor Lacrosse Association midget lacrosse player. Colin Campbell, Judith Osborne, and Cameron Shaw, please come forward.
Good evening. This is always very tough. I know most of the recipients of the various awards and grants tonight are here to celebrate. I know, speaking for myself, and I think Judith, this is always a tough time. On one hand, yes, we're very pleased that someone is winning a scholarship, and deservedly so. On the other hand, it is also a reminder to us of what we've lost. Anyway, let me say that this award, as Ron just told you, grew out of the generosity of the lacrosse community, the Coquitlam Minor Lacrosse Association, who, in the aftermath of a death of our son very suddenly in 2007 from meningitis, spontaneously created this scholarship. The scholarship has been funded not only by the good citizens of Coquitlam, but friends and colleagues at Douglas College, where I work, at Simon Fraser University, where Judith works, and by many of our friends and family members who wanted to contribute to the memory of Brodie. On my far left is Daniel Mortensen, a very close friend, a good friend and teammate of our son Brodie. Daniel has joined us on the floor here over these last several years. Daniel was also the very first recipient of this award. He's put it to good use in furthering his education at Douglas College in accounting, I believe, finance. Anyway, let me shut up and let Judith have a word in introducing tonight's recipient. Thank you.
Before saying a few words about Cameron, I did want to acknowledge how appreciative we are of the work of the Foundation in managing this fund on behalf of the Coquitlam Minor Lacrosse Association. And I know that there are some representatives from the CMLA here tonight. I saw Lance Hoffs outside. And the role that both the Foundation and the CMLA play within our community is very important, and I did want to acknowledge that. So tonight's recipient is Cameron Shaw, and Cameron was nominated and recommended for this award by the people in the CMLA who coached him and knew his great qualities. We learned tonight another happy coincidence in that Cameron is just tomorrow, I think, last day at Dr. Charles Best Secondary, where our son was sometimes an honor student. And Cameron obviously loves lacrosse as much as Brody did. Another overlap, apparently Cameron likes playing around with computers. That was certainly a big deal in our house. But certainly Cameron displays all of the qualities that have been outlined as the recipient for this award in terms of he's been coaching in lacrosse and obviously loves the sport a lot. And he plans to train as an electrician, which is great for us because we'll keep his number. So on behalf of the Foundation and the Lacrosse Association, Cameron, congratulations.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Now I would like to invite to the stage Bill LeClaire, and I think at the same time, if Lindsay LeClaire is in the audience, maybe Lindsay could come up as well. The Raymond A. LeClaire Scholarship Fund was established by the family of Raymond A. LeClaire, who served as manager of the municipality of Coquitlam from 1967 to 1982. The award is given to a deserving individual planning to pursue a career in the public service, with priority given to those who pursue a career in public administration. This year's recipient is Anastasia Evans. And so I would like to invite Anastasia to come to the stage as well. Anastasia plans to attend the Auburn University at Montgomery, where she will study political science. Her main interests are basketball and volunteering. Her time working with the St. Andrews Bridge Shelter Program was extremely eye-opening and rewarding. In her words, it's amazing to see how a group of volunteers can make such a positive impact on people's lives. Please welcome Bill LeClaire.
Good evening, everyone. Just a bit about the scholarship and the person it was named after. So my father was the city manager when he passed away in 1982. He was 53 years old. It was a bit of a shock at the time. My dad had one, not a regret in his life, but one of the things that he always told me that he never got to do was go to university because he couldn't afford to. He was one of 11 of a Millardville family. He was in the first graduating class of a school that was called Coquitlam High. It was a predecessor to Coma Lake High, and then it became Centennial, and now we have many senior high schools. But that goes back a long ways. But in introducing Anastasia, who I haven't met yet, nice to meet you, my father had this desire for young people to always go to university if they could, if there was a way to do it. And he promoted education all the time. It was pounded on me about it. I had to go to school. So, and one of the things about what Anastasia said in her application was to become a lawyer, and that was my dad's dream. And my daughter, Lindsay here, who is his granddaughter is a lawyer. So this is one of the things that I think is great about what Anastasia is proposing to do. If you get there, great. It's a long road. Hopefully it goes well for you. Anyway, thank you very much. And Anastasia, good luck at school. I'm the shortest one.
Congratulations, Nancy. So I've asked Lindsay Leclerc to remain on stage because the next award is the Carly Ray Leclerc Memorial Fund, established by the Leclerc family, to honor the life of Carly Ray, who was born and raised in Coquitlam, diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 16 years old. Carly struggled with the physical and emotional trauma that impacted her life. After 8 years of battling the disease, Carly passed away in January 2008. This fund supports young people in School District 43 who suffer from life-altering medical conditions. And this year, 3 grants are being made from the fund. A grant of $5,000 is going to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation to support its Finding Balance Conference. A grant of $3,000 will support its Youth Council program, and a grant of $2,000 is going to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation to support its Youth Ambassador program. To accept the 3 grants representing the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, please welcome Nancy Collier.
My family and I are so pleased to continue to support the JDRF by way of their Youth Ambassador, Youth Council, and Finding Balance programs with a grant from the Carly Ray Leclerc Memorial Fund. As a person living with type 1 diabetes for 11 and a half years now, I can't tell you how important having emotional and psychological support is when you're dealing with a lifetime medical condition. And I'm sure that anybody living with a lifetime medical condition can really relate to that. The JDRF is the foremost fundraiser of research in preventing, curing, and treating type 1 diabetes, but also providing support of all types to people living with type 1 diabetes. The kind of struggle that people living with type 1 diabetes face is really heightened when you're a teen or a young adult. My sister Carly, who was a very sweet and kind young woman, and if any of you have been here before, you've heard me say these things before, but I'll repeat them for those of you that haven't been here before. Her struggle with type 1 diabetes was so much with the emotional component of it. And that's why the support that JDRF provides in terms of these programs is so, so important. The Youth Ambassador and Youth Council programs deal with people who are teens and young adults specifically, and the Finding Balance event provides support to all the rest of us who continue to live with type 1 diabetes as it's a lifetime condition. I want to say thank you so much to the JDRF for all of the support for those of us living with T1D, and I'm really honored to provide this grant to the JDRF.
It's my pleasure at this time to invite His Worship Mayor Richard Stewart and Chuck Dennison to the stage. And just a reminder, when the students come up, stay on stage.
I'd just like to introduce His Worship, Mayor, let me get his name correct here. I'm very proud Mayor this evening, Richard Stewart.
The inside joke. On the weekend in the parade for the teddy bear picnic, I was introduced as Mike Stewart, apparently with reference to Mike Clay, the mayor of Port Moody, whom I just spent a week in a motorhome with, along with Greg Moore, the mayor of Port Coquitlam. And so last night, the chair of the school board introduced me as Mayor Moore. Chuck Dennison is amazing. He got it right. This is something I'm proud to do. The Mayor's Community Fund was established when I was first elected mayor. I was able to establish a fund that receives contributions largely from businesses in our community and helps support some activities. One of the activities we're starting to support now is more of the mental health issues in our community. Some of you may know, we've talked about the kinds of illnesses, the kinds of conditions that people may live the rest of their lives with, and as some of you may know, our daughter Vanessa has been very public with her mental health issues, and so we're, as a community, Coquitlam has always embraced mental health delivery. We're working with the folks related to the Riverview site to see to what extent we can reestablish the mental health services at Riverview. And so I did want to make those kinds of comments, because if there's a passion that one of you has for an issue, Vanessa, my daughter, actually was a classmate of a young man named Campbell, Brody Campbell, a number of years ago when he died so unexpectedly. It shook Vanessa, it shook us all, and so if there's a passion that's in your life, consider the idea of establishing a fund through the Coquitlam Foundation. It will create a really emotional moment for you every year as you stand here and you realize that you're able to advance your passion a little bit. Tonight, I get to issue 4 scholarships of each gender, or 2 scholarships at each high school. We'll do it either way. A total of 8 scholarships. We have 4 high schools in Coquitlam, and it's my pleasure to be able to issue these scholarships for 8 bright young students who are going forward to support them in their advanced education. So back to you, Chuck.
Well, thank you, Richard. Richard has some envelopes to hand to these recipients, and also a book by Peter Legg. And I've met Peter Legg a few times, but many of you don't know his name. Look it up on Google search. But as you go out the door of the Evergreen Theatre, take a look to the right and you'll see his name on the wall. He has contributed to the Business Library, I believe it's called, right here at the Evergreen Centre. And I can attest he's a wonderful man. And he has a book here that Richard will hand out also to these recipients. So I have the pleasure to introduce these people. So I'll do them one at a time, and I will ask them to stay on the stage for the photograph at the end. Don't disappear in a hurry. First of all, from Pine Tree Secondary, we have Carmen Yang. Carmen here? Good. Come on down. Carmen will attend the University of British Columbia, where she plans to obtain a Bachelor of Applied Science and Engineering. Her interests are music and graphic design. Carmen appreciates what her community and school has provided to her and greatly enjoys giving back to the community. Organizing school activities in grad council and planning events as a member of the library's youth advisory are recent efforts of Carmen's. This summer, Carmen will be a camp leader at the University of British Columbia. Carmen Yang. And next we have Jordan Lee. If he could make his way down to the stage. Jordan will be traveling all the way to the University of Toronto to study mechanical engineering. He enjoys listening to music as well as playing piano and alto sax. Jordan also enjoys both competing and watching basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Lee. And from Charles Best Secondary, we have Ju Yi He Park, if you could please make your way to the stage. The University of British Columbia is where Ju Yi will study commerce, anticipating a combined major in business and computer science. She enjoys listening to music, but also plays piano and clarinet. Ju Yi enjoys being a teen tutor in a homework help club at the Coquitlam Public Library, where she helped younger students in a variety of subjects. Ladies and gentlemen, Ju Hee Park. And also from Charles Best Secondary, Dr. Charles Best Secondary School, we have Mark Cheneval. If he could make his way down. Engineering, seems to be a theme here, will be Mark's focus as he begins his studies at the University of British Columbia in the fall. His interests include music, both choir and trumpet, and soccer, where he plays goal. Mark is a volunteer with the City of Coquitlam and has enjoyed setting up and helping out at special events such as the Salmon Come Home Festival and the Coquitlam Celebrates Canada Day event. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Cheneval. And now from Glen Eagle Secondary School. We have first Kimberly Venn. Kimberly, come forward, please, wherever you are. There she is. Good. Kimberly plans to attend Simon Fraser University, where she will pursue a business degree with a dual honors major in international business and economics. Her hobbies include painting and volunteering for the Me Too We event. One of her favorite community service experiences was volunteering in Ghana with Free the Children, as she was able to help provide education to the most humble and selfless children while creating new friendships and becoming more aware of the current political and economic conditions in West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly Venn. And also from Glen Eagle Secondary, Max Pang. Max plans to attend University of British Columbia, where he will begin in general science, but expects to end up in medical school after that. His hobbies are cross-country running and badminton. He has volunteered as a youth leader with the local St. John's Ambulance Brigade, where he teaches higher levels of first aid and developmental lessons to the most mature group of individuals every week. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Penn. And from Centennial Secondary, we have Cindy Way. Next year, we'll see Cindy studying at the University of Waterloo in an honors kinesiology co-op program. She loves baking healthy desserts and blogging about it. As well, she enjoys figure skating and aerial silks. So you can look that up in a Google search after, or if you have a chance, you can ask Cindy. Cindy has actually taught figure skating for 2 years at the Poirier Ice Arena, and she likes helping people, whether it's feeding seniors who need assistance or leading children's art camps. Cindy Way. And we also have from Centennial Sam Moseni. And is Sam here? Okay. and I don't have his bio, so that would explain why. But please, a round of applause, especially if you know him, Sam Mohammed. And I believe he is studying hard tonight, so that's an understandable excuse. So I'll now return please make sure you get your pictures here.
You go in there too.
And, all right.
Now, Chuck mentioned that each recipient received an award, a book from Peter Legge, his motivational book, The Power of Tact. And I take this opportunity to ask His Worship whether or not you think there's anybody on council who could get a copy of that book.
Well, I'm going to read it tonight.
Oh, okay. He will read it tonight, yes. We'll be tested on that tomorrow. We're going to take a little break from the presentations right now to present a special presentation, past award winners here, a performance by Les Echos du Pacifique, and they're from Millardville, and I know Mayor Stewart is from that area and would probably want to join with them, but you haven't been at the rehearsals, so you have to stay in the wings. This dynamic Millardville-based Francophone choir has been active since 1973 and continues to realize their vision of promoting French-Canadian culture through choral singing. Over the years, the choir has performed at many special events. I've seen them, they're tremendous, both local and regional. In 2009, they did something special. They interpreted Le Rêve d'un Village, the theme song of Millardville's 100th anniversary celebrations. Please welcome to the stage Les Echos du Pacifique.
We are Les Echos du Pacifique, and thank you for the invitation and the lovely introduction. We are a Francophone choir, and so all of our pieces this evening are in French. During our season, we do a variety of different things in different languages, but our mandate is to keep the culture of France and French alive, Francophone, so la francophonie alive through our music. So we do the most of our music in French. So we're going to do a selection of pieces for you. The next one, that one was called Je ne fus jamais si aiseux from the 16th century, a little madrigal. And we're going to do a famous piece by Gabriel Fauré next, called Cantique de Jean Racine, which features Caroline Chiot at the piano. She's always there. And after that, we're going to sing a little tune that you probably know as a children's French children's song, but with a special treatment by the Swedish composer and arranger Rockassoon. And after that, we'll do a little French-Canadian folk song called V'là le bon vent, arranged by former Vancouverite Alison Gerben. And after we've done those, we'll tell you a little bit.
te plumerai la tête, je te plumerai la tête, et la tête, et la tête, et la bouche, alouette, alouette, plumerai la tête, et la tête, et la bouche, et le nez, alouette, alouette,
Merci beaucoup. And we are extremely fortunate that we don't have to travel somewhere across the sea to see this fine choir like this. Thank you very much. Les Échos du Pacifique.